A few years ago, at the beginning of Advent at my church in Minnesota, our oldest church member was 102 years old. And she lived down the street at the nursing facility that our church had built. And the UCC, United Church of Christ chaplain there at the nursing facility decided to do a nativity play with the residents who lived there. And they asked Flavia to be Mary. She was super excited because she never got to play Mary when she was a child. And so she was very thrilled to be dressing up and playing the part of Mary in the play. The day of the play arrived, and she was in the elevator in her wheelchair, going to go down to the first floor where the chapel was. And also in the elevator was the gentleman who was going to play Joseph. A stranger walked into the elevator with them who was there visiting someone else in the facility. And the woman playing Mary turned to him and said, "I am engaged to this man right here, and I'm a virgin." And everyone laughed, and she got a big kick out of playing Mary that first year. Welcome to the unexpected moments of Advent. Today is the first Sunday of Advent. It is our 4-week period leading up to Christmas. And Advent was not always tied with the birth of baby Jesus. For many centuries, it was tied for the baptism of the early Christians. In the 6th century, it came to be known as a time of preparation when people were preparing for the coming of Christ, but not the birth of Christ, the second coming of Jesus. It wasn't until the Middle Ages that Advent was finally linked to baby Jesus' birth in Bethlehem, which it represents for us today. It's those 4 weeks of waiting. Don't we love waiting? It's our favorite thing to do. And preparation. Preparation's not so bad. Our youth group helped to prepare the sanctuary this past week. And so this Advent time is when we recognize that God arrives again and again into the midst of not so perfect circumstances. That's what we celebrate with Advent and with Christmas. This year, our Christmas and Advent theme is Unexpected Refuge and Prophetic Rebellion. Sounds very Christmassy, doesn't it? We've decided to do one different word for each 4 Sundays, and so the word for this Sunday is unexpected. Unexpected comes in many ways. Sometimes it comes as a delightful surprise, as when Ellen DeGeneres received one of 21 Presidential Medals of Freedom, our country's highest civilian honor. She was honored because she has shown us that a single individual can make the world a more fun and open and loving place. Unexpected happens, such as receiving the 40 Under 40 award from the Gazette. There were church persons who nominated me, and I'm very grateful for it. So thank you to those who nominated me. That was super unexpected. Unexpected happens like when you're driving and that supermoon is coming up over the horizon and you didn't expect it to be that big or that bright. Unexpected happens when persons come home for the holidays that you weren't expecting, persons you actually wanted to see, and it was a delightful surprise. Unexpected also arrives, though, through those not so delightful experiences that we go through, such as waking up the morning after the election to unexpected results, or hearing the car mechanic read off a laundry list of needed repairs that you just cannot afford, or the receiving of a very serious new health diagnosis, totally unexpected, or having your beloved in the hospital and not being able to stop their pain. Mary and Elizabeth experienced the unexpected in our text today. God sends a messenger to an unwed pregnant teenager and says, "Time to celebrate. God is close by. You are blessed." And I love Mary's response. The text says she was deeply troubled. I can identify with that. Wouldn't you be too if God is close by and someone tells you that it's time to celebrate? That must mean that something is going to change in your life. What if you weren't expecting any change? You hadn't sent out any invitations. You weren't ready for visitors. Do we really want to know what's about to change in our life? I'm glad God has come by, but I just don't like change. The message to Mary begins like most messages in our Bibles do. It begins with, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, but that's what we are best at. We've majored or minored in college in being afraid. We're wonderful at worrying and fretting and fearing and making up the worst case scenarios even before the opening credits have rolled. So then comes the big news. Surprise! The strip on the pregnancy test shows a little blue cross. And crosses mean Jesus. So you are pregnant with a VIP. A very important person, Mary. Your life will never be the same again. Mary replies, how can this be? Or, come again? Thanks, but no thanks. The messenger goes on to explain that unexpected things are happening not only to Mary, but also to her relative, Elizabeth. This time it's not an unplanned teenage pregnancy surprise, but it's one of those post-menopausal, we've already started retirement, this can't be happening, we're too old for this pregnancies. And the angel has the audacity to be happy about it, saying nothing is impossible with God, as though that's a good thing. Mary's response, my life belongs to God. I may not understand, but let it be. During this Thanksgiving holiday, I had the great pleasure to read an entire book, cover to cover. I read the new book by New York Times bestselling author Glennon Doyle Melton called Love Warrior. It's a memoir of a woman my age who utilized many coping mechanisms throughout her life to deal with the fact that our society has painfully prescribed ways that boys and girls and men or women are supposed to fit in. Bulimia and alcoholism and meaningless escape-your-body sex were the ways in which she got through her years. Until one day, after she had already had her first abortion, there that little blue cross appeared again. And she sat on the bathroom floor and remembered an experience she recently had in an empty candlelit room inside a Catholic church while looking at the image of Mary holding her baby Jesus. Glennon experienced this little blue cross as an invitation from God that she was perhaps worthy enough to give and receive love. She becomes sober. She marries the baby's father and raises 3 children over the next 14 years of her marriage. But then the unexpected happens again. This time it's not a little blue cross that turned into a delightful surprise that helped to save her life, but this time it's a confession from her husband that he's been cheating on her with one-night stands throughout the entirety of their marriage. It's one of those Advent shockers that knocks your socks off and leaves you unable to take a deep breath, one of those life events that you cannot see your way through. Do you come out on the other side of something like this? Later that night, after putting the children to bed, she made 3 lists. List number 1, she entitled, Questions I Can't Answer. Will we ever be a family again? Will I be a single parent? Will my children be ruined by this? Will my kids one day have another mother? What am I going to do? Her second list she entitled, Questions I Can Answer. Am I loved? Yes. Are my children loved? Yes. Did I survive rock bottom before? Yes. Her third and final list she entitled, Things I Know. I know that what you don't know, you're not supposed to know yet. I know that more will be revealed. I know to just do the next right thing, one thing at a time. That night she printed out her 3 lists and crawled into bed with them. One of the questions from her list kept running through her mind. What am I going to do? She made a plan. This was her plan. I will go to sleep. The sun will rise. I will make breakfast. I will take the kids to school. I will come home and rest. That was her plan. She repeats her plan again and again until her breathing is finally able to slow. I will go to sleep. The sun will rise. I will make breakfast. I will take the kids to school. I will come home again and rest. Just the next right thing, one thing at a time. Our contemporary reading today is one that I hope we can hear with new ears. As you hear different parts of it right now, I hope you can imagine being the chick being born. Put yourself in this guided meditation. When in the midst of great change, it's helpful to remember how a chick is born, how you are born. From the view of inside, it is a terrifying struggle. Confined, curled in a dark place, only half formed. The chick eats all its food and stretches to the contours of where it resides. It begins to feel hungry with life and cramped. Eventually, the chick begins to starve and feel suffocated by the ever-shrinking space of the world in which it is surrounded by. Finally, its own growth begins to crack the shell. And the world, as the chick has known, is coming to an end. My sky is falling. As I wriggle through the cracks and begin to eat my own shell, in that moment, growing but fragile, starving and cramped, the world breaking, it feels like dying. Everything that I have relied upon has fallen away. And finally, I am born. Transformation always involves the falling away of things that we have relied on. What have I relied on that is falling away? We are left with the feeling that the world that we know it is coming to an end, because it is. And when faced with unexpected change, we have to take in all that has enclosed us and nurtured us, so that when our new life is right there, waiting for us to take and grab onto, the old is still within us. So this Advent, if you find yourself in the unexpected, I hope that we can remember Mother Mary, and that she was deeply troubled, and that that's an okay way to feel. She responded to the unexpected in her life with, "How can this be? Thanks, but no thanks." Perhaps she wrote her own 3 lists, questions I can't answer. What's going to happen next? How will I get through it? Things I can answer. Am I loved? Yes. Have I survived hardship before? Yes. What I know. I know that what you don't know, you're not supposed to know yet. I know more will be revealed. I know to do just the next right thing, one thing at a time. I know my life belongs to God. I may not understand, but as Mary said, let it be. Let us be together this Advent, supporting each other through all the unexpected that comes our way. May it be so.